Hey, welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. This is your host, Noura Mosri. Welcome to the show. Today, I'm really excited to talk about my guest, and we're going to only have one guest for you today because she has a lot to unpack for you. A year into my business, I noticed that I cannot grow or go further unless I work on myself, unless I healed, worked on my mindset. So I started searching, what can I do? I started with online courses. Then I noticed like I can't go any further with online courses. I needed more one-on-one. So I started working with a great mindset therapist who's my guest for today. And, I like to share with you the information, and I love to have you hear from the people. I think they are wonderful and you can get value from, so you can also grow. Hey, Aisha, welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. So I wanted to talk to you first about your career shift. You actually were a very successful designer. You were in a major media outlet in the Arab world. Then you decided to change all of that and get into therapy. So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, I would say that this is one of the major shifts that anyone could actually experience because I went from being a successful fashion designer who dressed A-list celebrities such as Charlize Theron, Ariana Grande, Christina Aguilera, celebrities from Bollywood, from the Middle East, from so many different places. And I was one of the very few Arab young designers who appeared on international media platforms such as CNN, BBC, and showcased her collections internationally. But all of that was amazing, and it was just really boosting up my ego because you have no idea how it feels to just walk under the spotlight after your last model takes the runway. But then one day I felt that this wasn't really answering the big question of the why. The why am I here? Why am I really here? Not that there's anything wrong with fashion. I think it's fantastic and it changes people's lives. But it wasn't answering my why. And I started asking, little did I know that the universe was actually listening. And one day, I was engaged in a competition for, is it okay to mention brands?
Yeah.
So I was engaged in a competition for Philips and I won the competition. And the winner was supposed to donate the money to some charity event. Oh, wow. Oh my God. To some charity outlet. I totally missed the link between you and this. So here's actually what happened. I was supposed to donate the money to a charity outlet of my choice, and I selected the Egyptian Food Bank because I asked about how can I donate to Egypt since I know that the population is so high and there's a lot of people who are really underprivileged. And I learned about the Egyptian Food Bank, and this is where I met Dr. Muaz al-Shuhdi, who was a great help. He was my angel back then. He's the founder of the Egyptian Food Bank and the entire food bank network around the world, and clothing bank and cure bank. So it's a huge, huge network. And we donated the money, but that was the moment that changed my life. And on my 33rd birthday, we launched a very, very beautiful, also charitable initiative where Dr. Muaz helped me create a coat that becomes a sleeping bag. And back then, the Syrian refugees were at their peak around the Arab world. So we donated also thousands of those pieces around. And this is where I started to feel like my heart was pumping. It's just talking to me. It's amazing. Fashion is amazing, but this is just beyond. This is something else, another level. And a few years later, I realized that what I'm supposed to be doing is being a mindset therapist. Now, how did that happen? It took a lot of science. And I started off by creating my psychotherapy games. I started learning and learning and learning more and more about them. And this is how I launched my career in the mindset business. I launched it, I learned. That was in end of 2019, beginning of 2020. By now, 2024, I've done more than 5,000 individual sessions, as well as retreats and group sessions, which you have witnessed personally. So
Yeah.
this was the shift. It was basically letting go of being at your peak, because in the fashion world, I was at my peak when I left. I had just started selling around the world. My name was at the New York Benz Fashion Week. I did not do the fashion show, but my name was there on their official website. I was about to take the step. I was showcasing in Paris, Kazakhstan, in Italy, Mexico, everywhere you could imagine, whether selling or showcasing my collections. And I felt, no, this is not where I want to be. I am training young designers to take over this path, because I mean, having more than 20 years of experience in the fashion world is not something you could just throw away.
Mm-hmm.
But what I focus on the most is mindset, to change the mindset behind everything we do.
Was it a scary move? Because you like you said, you were on your peak and now you're starting a totally new route. You don't know like how's the reaction of the people going to be, how successful you can go, how far you can go there. So how was your feeling inside?
Very amazing question. I never feared being accepted or how will people's reaction be. I tend to neglect sometimes important points that happens to be to my own good and to my own benefit. So it didn't really matter. I didn't even think about it. But what happened is that once, that's really what happened. Once, and I made the shift in my career, because I was also working at Al Arabiya TV and NBC TV for 18 years at the same time. Yeah. So when that shift took place, I had the fear once, whereby I felt, okay, I do not have something concrete that I could say I've got experience of 10 or 20 years in that field. What am I going to do about it? And then I checked in and I felt that everything is okay. Everything is just okay. And then I received the first sign to start my fashion course. That
Oh,
was the first sign to start my fashion course. And I said, okay, I'll just listen to that voice and keep flowing. And that after that point, immediately I went into psychotherapy games.
that's amazing. And I'm sure that took a lot of courage. And here, like, we want to tell people, like, don't be scared. If you check in and you found this is what you really want to do, just take the first step. And how long do you think like it did take you? And I want you to actually tell them your message, like from your experience. What do you want to tell them? Like if they are know they have to do something else, but they're afraid, and how long would they expect to take them?
It actually varies from one person to the other. And it's so easy to tell someone, don't be afraid, just take the step. However, if they have if they have a fear-based thought, they will probably hit a wall and fall.
Mm-hmm.
So what they need to do is few steps. They really need to work on two elements. The first one is boosting their confidence and working on their mindset. The second one, because that one is going to give them the support. And the other part is the know-how, the know-how. So it's not enough to go into a business that you love and that you're so passionate about. No, you need to really learn more about it. Do your homework, do your research. Not to the extent of staying of researching it for 10 years until you take the decision,
Mm-hmm.
but start cultivating as much information as possible in as little time as possible, in order to have enough confidence to go into whatever it is that you're doing. But you need to remember that the line of career that I went into, which is mindset therapy, depends highly on your confidence and depends highly on how much you believe. How far are you willing to go for it all? So, this is the essence of my work. And if I don't believe, then who's going to do that? But when it comes to, for instance, someone who wants to open a restaurant, different story completely, or who wants to become a makeup artist or wants to create her fashion line or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those people, because it's more product based, even if it's service based, they need to do more research and they need to have as many proofs as possible to support this move. Now, my advice for those who are willing to do a career shift is, first of all, make sure you know your why, make sure you know your what. So why do you want to do what you want to, why are you changing? Why do you want to enter that? And then what is it that you want to do? And then start doing your research. Learn more about the sector you want to go into. What is it really based on? Maybe you are missing the know-how, then go learn it. Experience it a little bit. Make sure you've got enough cash that sustains you for the next at least 1 year. Then leave your career. Because remember, I was working for Arabia and NBC TV besides my fashion business. So I had a stream of income that was keeping me secure. That's why fear visited me at least once. I mean, and I'd say this is really a very, very small number.
Nice. Thank you so much for this information. We're gonna come back to you, Aisha. But now, this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Masri, and this is Echoes of Impact. We're back to our guest, mindset therapist, Aisha Ramadan. Aisha, welcome back. So,
Thank you.
we are going to get into the childhood trauma a little bit because how do you see, like, you mentioned that someone has to have confidence to do the career change or to even start a business, like to do anything that's out of the comfort zone, they have to have some confidence. But how would the childhood trauma affect their move? Anything in life?
Well, childhood trauma or the inner child has a great effect on whatever steps we tend to take, whether it's in our private, intimate life, whether it's with our friends, whether it's our career, because depending on what we grew up believing about ourselves, this is how things are going to be affected moving forward. So let's say, I'm just going to throw out some examples. Let's say there's this kid who comes from a specific culture that sets very, very high standards. So from the beginning, I'm talking about a very mild case, yeah? From the very beginning, this child is expected to get A plus, is expected to be a perfectionist at everything, and then this guy or this kid grows up into a man who does not accept failure under whatever circumstances and does not take it well. Now, what business has no risk of failing and falling from time to time? Nothing. There is no such thing. Yeah. What person, when would you ever be encountering someone who will never ever get a no as an answer? It's not possible. If that person was not raised to deal with the balance, the natural balance of life, and is only brought up to believe that he can either achieve perfect, so-called perfect standards or nothing, then this person is going to suffer in creating his own business. And this is just a very, very tiny example. I can give you endless examples about this, to be honest.
A lot of people don't make this correlation. They think, okay, my childhood was good, my parents were awesome, nothing happened, I wasn't really beating up every
Yeah.
day. I am good. I don't have any trauma. It's just like it's my luck. I'm not succeeding.
What is luck? Really, what is luck? Luck is just the end result of your crooked childhood.
Mhm. So
Oh,
you believe everyone has some sort of trauma in their
not
childhood,
necessarily,
regardless?
not necessarily, but we were
Not necessarily.
raised in a very insecure community, in a very insecure
Mhm.
world. Very, very, very few people are brought up in a very balanced and healthy way that ignites your own self-confidence and getting in touch with your own inner voice. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I have seen very, very limited number of people who managed to raise their children on that path. However, somehow their children will either pick up the insecurities from the surroundings, or sometimes in their DNA
Mhm.
from their ancestors. Yeah, so it's not a matter of how well were you treated as a child. It could be, but it's one of the many elements. We are here in this world to learn. Learn from what? If we were already good or perfect, then why are we here? We're here to
Mhm.
learn, become our better version, or whatever, to reach our best potential and eventually reach out with help and love to others in order to fulfill our purpose in life.
That's amazing. So now one of the things that limited belief and the things that our ancestor, like you said, our parents that get into us and our mindset is our relationship with money. And I know you have a course about the relationship of money, and I am that, and you have a lot of things you address that so much, and it has a great effect on the life of people. But how would you say, like, tell like people who never heard from you, who never learned about like the relationship between what they learned about money on how successful can be in life and how wealthy can be.
So, what's the message for those people?
Like, the relationship, because I think a lot of people don't have this connection. They think, oh no, this has nothing to do with this. So I can be, if I do the technicality of it, the know-how only, I'll be successful, I'll make a lot of money. Because look at all these people, they're making a lot of money. They don't think their mindset and their belief about money that they were raised with, that's gonna have any effects on that.
If that's true, then all the sons and daughters of the wealthy people would remain wealthy. However, a lot of them get in debt. They end up being in debt. Why? It's not because they don't know the technicalities or there's a lack of resources or companies or whatever. No, it's because of their mindset. So if you have a poor mindset, even if you win the lottery, you will lose it, or you will become even poorer than you used to be. It's all about the mindset. It starts from there. This is the difference between someone who started from scratch and between someone who already has the money but cannot grow it or loses it. It's the mindset. And someone with a wealth mindset is not someone who's planning to become wealthy the entire time and never lose it. No, I've seen millionaires, many, many millionaires and billionaires who have been bankrupt, who have lost a lot of money. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars at once. And then they made it all over again because it's inside of them. They have a wealthy mindset. So the correlation is very, very straightforward. And we get to see that. I get to see that a lot in session, and especially in the group coaching when we talk to people live. We get to see that most people are under the illusion that everything is totally fine with them and they were raised so well and there's nothing wrong with them. But then when we dig a little bit deeper, we get to know what's the problem. I'm going to give you a wonderful example that I may have spoken in one of my group sessions about. So there was once a lady who was asking, what is her problem with money? Why is she unable to make money? And then when we dug a little bit deeper into her childhood, we found out that her mother was always the one managing the money, and her father was so irresponsible that he always gave it away to his brothers, to his siblings, not to his family. He always gave it away in totally irresponsible ways. Now, her parents used to fight a lot about money. This girl is now married with a child, and she is repeating the exact same scenario with her husband. She's the one managing the money. She's always fighting with him because he's not able to bring in more. He's the one who actually wastes it. So masculine and feminine energy are completely out of balance with being both husband and wife. And she's repeating the same lesson, the same mistake, I would say, of her mom and dad. She is now finally trying to learn her lesson and to change the whole dynamic of that relationship. So after learning about that, she started to adopt and adapt to the wealthy mindset. But it's not a click of a button. Because if you're on the other side of things, it's like baby steps. It takes time for you to go into the wealthy mindset. And that starts from the way you think about yourself, the way you think about life, resources, the way you behave in your relationships, the way you eat your food. Do you eat your food while you're eating so fast as if someone is going to take it away from you? Do you buy several things from the same item, several pieces from the same item because you're afraid it's going to go away? Those are behaviors of someone with a poor mindset. So it's not about someone who just has money. It's about how do you deal with it? What's happening behind the scenes?
See, I've seen this like buying a lot of things from the same thing, different colors, all of these. People sometimes identify it as them being generous. They don't connect it with like now you have a scarcity or poor mindset, you are being generous. And so there's a lot of misconceptions over there and keeping people poor. So for those of the audience who are hearing us now and they realize from the example or from our conversation that they might have poor mindset, where should they start to just start tackling and changing that?
They need to start with their limiting beliefs. The first thing they can do is to sit with themselves and start asking themselves, what is every single thing that I've ever heard about money? From the moment I started to cultivate ideas and remember and just memorize things. What did I hear my parents say about money? What did I hear in movies, on TV? What did I hear from my teachers, from my friends? And you'll find a whole directory of mostly limiting beliefs. If you read the amazing book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it speaks directly about that. Interesting, same colors as your branding. So if you read that book, it's going to talk a lot about the poor mindset of the original of the biological father and the wealthy mindset of the other guy, and you will see the difference. Someone who is very afraid to get out of their comfort zone is someone with a lot of with very deeply rooted poor mindset. And the other way around. And this poor mindset is not something that we adopt by mistake. Sometimes one of your ancestors could have been very, very rich, and then they might have lost all their money in war, or it was stolen or whatever. And then it passes on to you through the next generations, with or without you knowing it. It's amazing how the human body and psychology works. So there's so much more so much more than what you remember and what you think you have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha. We're going to take a break. We're going to get back to Aisha because we cannot get enough of this. You need to listen to this episode many times. Even if you're watching on TV right now or listening to us on the radio or a podcast, you can find it online and you just listen to it again, watch it again, because you're going to change your mindset this way. But now let's take a break. And this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Mosri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We are back with our guest, with our amazing guest, Aisha Ramadan, mindset therapist. Aisha, a lot of people connect wealth with how much money do they have in their bank accounts. Is that accurate?
Well, the number you have in your bank account is one of the manifestations of wealth, but this is one tiny side of wealth. Wealth is not just something that is measured by the number of of by the number you have in your account. Wealth is something that is measured on your relationships, on the way you feel about life, on the way you live life, because you could have all that money, but you're living as if you're a beggar on the street. And there's a lot of people who do that. Yeah. So wealth is a mindset. It's not just a number. That is money. Yeah. But wealth is how you deal with it, how you deal with life. It's all the elements in your life. And the real wealth, in my opinion, is how much can you sustain yourself without doing work, without having a job? How much can you really keep standing on your feet without having a full-time job? The secret is that if you're able to have zero in your bank account, if you have zero in your bank account, how much more can you do? How much can you do with the resources that you have within you? How much can you do without having any base? And we spoke the other day in our group coaching, if you remember, about me putting myself into a 3-week challenge. And I wanted to achieve a specific number with a lot of zeros next to it within 3 weeks. And I had a lot of reasons logically to believe that it was not possible. But once I believed and once I started activating some of the basic rules of money and of wealth, we achieved a lot more than that number. And now, as you know, we have doubled the amount and we're planning to achieve it in 4 weeks. So we just added 1 more week. And it's happening. It just keeps happening. But here's the thing. As you saw in the break, during the break, I got really, really good news where I got the exception as one of the very, very, very few Lebanese who gets to go to a specific country we're not allowed to go to. Don't worry. It's not
Congratulations about that.
Thank you so much. But here's the thing. This wealth mindset affects everything else in your life. It affects how smooth your life runs. How fast do you come back after you fall? And my God, I've fallen so many times. But it's about that. So this number in your bank, and I'll tell you something. We've got a lot of people. I have a lot of clients who have huge number of, like a big number of money. It's a big number in their bank account, but they are living and they're feeling poorer than any beggar on the street. They do not know how to spend it. They do not spend it. They do not receive from other resources. They do not make, so it's money that they gathered after, say, 20 years of working in a specific job. Yeah. But now they don't know what to do about it. Is this a wealthy person?
No,
there's no steady income. They do not know what to do about that money. They are continuously depressed because of the lack of why, the lack of what, the lack of any sense of direction. So this for me is someone, I feel so bad for them. I really feel bad for them. Why? Because when we invite them to start investing in themselves, they have this scarcity mindset and they're so worried about spending from their savings because they're so scared it will all go away. But you know, the value of money, it depreciates in time. Anyway, it would stay the same. Okay, so you've kept it with you for, like, let's say 5 years. Let's keep it for 10 more years, 20 more years. We're talking about people in their 60s. Come on. I mean, it's time for you to start splitting your money in a more balanced way. You have to split it in a more balanced way, as I taught you in the training.
Nice. So you mentioned the basic law of money, like making money. What can you share that? What's the basic?
There are several laws. I'm going to share one. I'm going to share one.
Sure.
One of the main laws of wealth is give and receive. Nice. It's not receive and give, it's give and receive. Now, this has a lot of layers, and you just need to dance that dance. You need to understand it. When I say give, so when you're doing your work, your project, you're starting your business, again, we go back to the why. Why are you doing this? Most people are doing it for the money, not because they want to give, not because they have that thing that they really want to add value to people's lives, not because of that. Yeah. It's because they're thinking about their own inner motives. The thing is, when you think about giving value to other people, having or receiving back in return is going to just be the ultimate result. It's the natural result. You will naturally receive a lot more than you've ever expected, but when you're giving from a space of love and wealth, when you're not afraid. Here's the difference between a generous restaurant and between a restaurant that's not going to give you free bread when you attend, when you come and start sit, and they're going to calculate every crumb on you.
Yeah, you
Here,
feel it like you're never getting back there.
here's the difference between a mindset therapist who's going to be looking at the watch the entire time, telling you we've got 1 more minute left, 30 seconds left, and between someone who's going to listen to you for 10 more minutes, 15, sometimes 30 more minutes if it takes. Of course, there's a balance that has to be achieved, because end of the day, this is business, and end of the day, taking from your effort and time. But when your main intention is to serve, the natural result is for you to receive in return. This is one of the key rules. And I would say, yeah, it's one of the universal laws, not rules. It's one of the universal laws. The more you give with all your heart, and sometimes giving is just about giving joy, giving your clients joy, giving people around you joy. And the natural thing is for you to receive.
That's really interesting because people think about giving, like I have to give money. I don't have money. How can I give money? But then, like you said, you can give anything like joy and you can give free information. But how can people find this balance? Because they would say it's easy for someone who might have like a wealth to say give and don't work for money. But I need to pay my rent. I need to pay my mortgage. I need to pay my bills. How can they dance this dance to make sure they're really giving from the heart while they're maintaining, okay, we still have to make money?
Pretty much what you said previously. You do not need to give money at the beginning, even though giving money has a very, very different frequency than giving values such as joy and laughter and help. Yeah. Because the truest part of giving is giving from what you have and what you think you need. Yeah. But as you said, if you don't have that money yet to be able to give from it, start by giving values. Start by helping, giving from your time, giving support, giving love, giving advice. Because this is also, it is equivalent to money, end of the day. When someone comes to me asking for advice, my time equals money. Yeah. So
Yeah.
give from whatever is available right now. You do not need to limit it.
But from inside, like the feeling that we have, okay, I'm working for money. Yeah, I want to give people value, but I need the money. So how can you work on the emotion inside? Like you really feel like you're giving in genuinely, not just, yeah, this is the law, the universal law. I'm gonna do it so I can get the money because you cannot
Here's
make
the
this.
thing, you cannot deceive the universe. You cannot. You either do it
Exactly.
with all your heart or it's not going to work. You can deceive yourself, you can deceive people, but you cannot deceive the universe. There's the ultimate truth in your intention. Now I'm telling you, it's a law. It's a law. It's a law of the universe. The more you give with all your heart, the more you will receive without any limitations. So you can either keep thinking from a limited mindset and then go and see the results, or you can just try and test it, because those laws can be tested for a short while and see how it felt. See what you received in return. Just see what it means for you to always remember that when you exit this planet, you will exit it with nothing, absolutely nothing. So perhaps remember that the universe is so balanced. If you will give someone, it's because you've been given and you will be given. The universe is so balanced and it's so precise. It is so precise down to the point. You will never give someone without receiving back in return, but don't do it because you want to receive. Here's the difference. Because when you do it because you want to receive, then you have expectations, which means you are holding on to those and you're getting attached to those. And this is the opposite of the law of attraction. And the more attached you are to the results, to the expectations you want, the further away it will be from you.
Yeah, attachment. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. The trick is have a goal in your mind, work towards it, but have the flexibility to change your goal if things do not work out as you want, because they could work out better than you've ever wanted.
That's amazing. And this is one of the problems I had, like attachment. Yeah, I need to do this and it has to happen until I feel like now I'm more balanced in that. Okay, maybe it's not a good thing for me. I'll be okay with it. And I started achieving much more things. So
but you see, when you say this, it's an amazing example because a lot of people face the same thing. When you say, I need to, where's this need coming from? Who put that need? Who's running after you? Who's chasing after you? And that is usually from your inner child. That need to achieve something is because deep down inside, people are looking for validation. Validation could come through the money, through the title, through the whatever, the achievements that we get. And the less attached we are to this validation, and the more attached I am to my inner validation.
Yeah,
then
that's
in balance.
Yes, this is really important, and we did not finish yet. We still have a lot to end back with Aisha, but we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura, and this is your host, Noura Masri. We are back with a very special guest, Aisha Ramadan, mindset therapist. Aisha, we were talking about how to make this dance between like attachment and believing that it's okay to happen or not. Now, I wanted to ask you about when someone don't have money, you always say go within to see what's unique about you, what you can provide to people because you have a lot of wealth inside you. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Not a single one of us lacks a treasure, their own treasure. The problem is when we start looking at other people's treasures, thinking that, wow, this is a great influencer. Maybe I could take a few photos and become famous and make money out of that. Or, wow, this person did this or that. I'll copy their course or I'll copy their style of working or whatever the concept, restaurant concept, and I'll do the same. This is one of the biggest mistakes because your wealth is very different from other people's wealth. This is the first thing. The other thing is you need to go and look into your own skills. What makes you special? What are your points of strength? What do people talk about? What do people say about you the most? Even if it's talking a lot, even if it's gossiping a lot. Maybe you are someone who's meant to create a gossip column. Not that I approve of that, but you know what I mean? It is one way because every single one of us has their own um, has their own wealth, has their own treasures, and all they need to do is to look deep into those treasures and not to rush things. But if they are really in a hurry, then go immediately to the things that you are really good at, the things that you excel at. Even if you're not in love with these things, but if you're really good at them, start there. Start there until you start making some cash in. If you're great at cooking, start by cooking at home and delivering food for those around your community, maybe by Instagram. But if you're not in a hurry, then take your time to discover what makes you unique. Because what makes you unique will give you back multiplied folds of what you're only good at could have given you. So it's amazing. The difference between both is really, really amazing. So there are things that you're really good at, there are things that make you so unique. What you're good at will bring you money. What makes you so unique will bring you multiplied folds.
That's amazing. And people always like think what they're good at, maybe that's what they're unique at because this is what they're good at.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily at all. No, this is something and that is something completely different because you may be a great, great auditor, but there are many other great auditors. But you may have a very specific style of teaching people or training people that no one else has. So you could be an English teacher, yeah, or a private English teacher, and you could still be like everyone else and still make money. And you could have a very, very unique style of teaching English. I don't know, something that's so creative, something that depends purely on art or on dancing, or I don't know what would you integrate in it. And that makes you unique. So you deliver what you're really good at in a very unique way. Uniqueness means that you are the only one who does this way. And it must be special. And it has to be something that's attractive to others. It has to also solve one of their problems, or otherwise we don't need it.
That's amazing. And I know you have one-on-one with people like you offer this service to help them find their uniqueness. Like, is that something you offer in Arabic only or you do like both?
No. All my sessions are in both Arabic and English. Now, of course, my first language is Arabic, but as you can see, we get by and we get by really well in English. Um, uh, it is actually one of my most popular sessions, which is ecstasy of uniqueness, which is finding your purpose and your passion in life. And it's amazing because I've got people from all walks of life, people who are about to study, who are about to go into university, people who just graduated, people who have been in the industry forever, in their industry forever, and they're really, really not happy. More advanced people who want to make a career shift and they don't know what to do about it. So they come to this session, they either discover their why and what, or they confirm what they thought they were unique at and what they're really good and what they really like. And then they have more confidence to move forward. And I think this is one of the most amazing investments because people tend to do two mistakes. Either go into university or major into something that they're not 100% cut out for. They're not 100% born to do. They do it because they got certain grades. They do it because the social expectations or whatever. Yeah. And the other thing is those who create projects or start companies because they have the money and because they think that this is a company that will become a success and will bring them back money. Not because this is where they see themselves sleeping and waking up and spending the next 15 years doing. So it's very different.
Yeah, this is very interesting. And before we continue, like, how can people find you? Like, if they want to get one of your session, like, how can they find you?
Can you repeat this question because I didn't
how can they get in touch with you to get into their session, your session? So to buy one of your session.
Yeah, people can register to one of my sessions through my Instagram page, Aisha Ramadan, or through my admin, which is Aisha Ramadan admin, and they will guide them and they will have all the information.
That's awesome. Guys, you don't want to miss this. So if you are wondering what's going on, like what do you want to do? Aisha is amazing. I mean, I took like few sessions with her, like one-on-one, and working with her like in a lot of courses and group sessions. And I can't just like anything can wait until I get like, you know, because like group sessions sometimes like it's interfere with my appointment or something. Anything can wait. Like I'm gonna get into this because you really give from your heart. You don't keep anything away from anyone. And after the session that I got from you with you, like it's really, really changed my life and and relationship and everything.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for all that you're giving to people. And I want to touch base on something very unique, and people don't often connect this with wealth and how can they make money, how can successful they can be with money. And actually, when I heard it from you in the course first, I was like, well, I don't know. Never heard of this before. The connection of the connection, your connection with your body, with yourself, like with your sexuality. So, can you touch base on that a little bit?
Of course. I'll speak very briefly about it because it's such an intense and deep topic. So our sexual energy is a gateway for our wealth because the sexual energy is the source of our creativity. This is the spot where we create. This is where we procreate. This is where we give birth from. This is where we receive from. So this energy is it's like a coiled energy at the bottom of our spinal cord. And most people unfortunately use it just so that they can have the superficial pleasure. But when we activate it for what it truly is, we get to experience the whole power of manifestation. And the more we align with the truest form of sexual energy, which is the most powerful energy on this planet, because again, this is how we come to life. This is the energy that is the source of our life. The more we connect to that, the more we can manifest our goals. And I'm just going to scientifically clarify this. So, you know, football players during their tournaments and during their championships, they're not allowed to have sex and they're not allowed to even masturbate. It is because they need to keep this energy within so that they utilize it to get goals. Because the more you keep it inside, the more you can achieve. Now, think about it the same way when you're doing it with yourself or when you keep it within you. Now, this really works with men more than women, but both of us are able to always have very clear goals and dreams, and we visualize those goals and dreams continuously. And when we are about to approach the orgasm, the best thing you can do is to strike it up to your main goal imagine it. I would say connect with it so that you move that energy and manifest this wonderful visualization into your everyday life. On the other hand, you need to take the appropriate action to make it happen, because it's not going to work out if you just visualize, but on the other hand, you take steps against that goal. You need to be both in the la la land as well as on this planet.
Amazing. Amazing. And you know, you speak a lot about the La La Land, and we realize sometimes, yeah, here we are in the La La Land. Like, what can we do to come down to earth and just start uh, taking action and to move to the real world, to embody what we are dreaming and trying to manifest. And this is really amazing. And not a lot of people actually talk about this. A lot of people like just go meditate, do that, and then you're gonna see your dream. And this is why a lot of people, they criticize that, like, not this is not practical. Like, how can you do that? So I love that balance that you bring in.
It's about the balance. It's really about the balance, because I love meditation. I mean, most of my therapy works on meditation, but if it's not simultaneously working with real life action, then you're on that planet, which God knows when are you going to plan to land here. You're not here. You're not belonging here. And that's why a lot of people commit suicide. That's why a lot of people have this defense mechanism or escape mechanism of alcohol, drugs, addiction to sex, addiction to exercise, addiction to work, shopping, like becoming shopaholic. All of those are ways to escape reality instead of dealing with it, because they think so low of life. But it's so beautiful once you achieve that balance. And yeah, meditation is amazing, but you need to pair it with action.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha. Like, we can stay here forever and talk to you like many times, more than that, because you know, like, you have like a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience that people can get a lot of information from you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And we appreciate you. People, guys, like, you need to go check Aisha's Instagram page. Like you heard her, you can get an appointment, whether you are an English or Arabic speaker. You can go and get in touch with her and see which session like can make sense for you and your stage. She's gonna tell you, and you watch your life after that, like, changing upside down. But come with your open heart. And this is Echoes of Impact. Don't go away. Watch us next week. Again, it's Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you want to come on the show, if you have any question, need to get in touch with one of our guests, you can also email us at hello@echoesofimpact.net. That's hello@echoesofimpact.net. This was your host, Noura Al-Masri. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover